there's a global demand ba when it comes to accountant. Normally, I would say it's a growing industry, especially in Europe and abroad. Well, actually, my perception of going abroad is when I graduated college, I really want to go like in Europe or experience something like in the US. So I applied for a company which I know that will offer something like going abroad eventually. Like number one, you need to learn how to be independent. You are living without your family. You need to survive.
Hello, dreamers! Ano po yung live audience natin? And we are here today for another episode of Kenika Talks! Before I introduce to you our next guest for Kenika Talks, let me just remind everyone na sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, don't forget to click subscribe and ring on the notification bell po, yung bell, and click on all uploads para ma-update kayo sa ating mga daily vlogs. And for now, syempre maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga sumuporta sa ating previous Kenika Talks with Ate Jemmarie. I'm sure you learned a lot from her being a woman, being a mother, and being a wife. Ganon, di ba? Now, we will see a different perspective naman po because of our guest for tonight. It's very interesting for those who would like to come and experience life or experience living and working here in Europe. So, yun siya. Bagong lahat pala, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. That's at the Pinay Dreamer. And here we are, pinapakilala ko po sa inyo ating next guest. We have... Hindi ka Ayan, so bago po natin ipakilala formally yung ating guest for today's Kenika Talks, nais ko naman po magpasalamat sa lahat ng mga active na nagka-comment sa ating mga videos. Shout out po kay Ma'am Geraldine de la Cruz. We have Ma'am Mia Wanico and Ma'am Nancy Magaliado. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am. And para sa mga bago po sa ating channel, welcome po to our channel. We normally do our Kenika Talks every Wednesday. So abangan niyo po yan. And our daily vlogs all throughout the week. So ngayon, here we are for our guest for this week's episode of Kenika Talks. We have Brian! Hi, Brian! Have a seat. Hello po kay Brian. Hi, sabihin mo, hi, dreamers.
Hi, dreamers!
Oh, ganon. So, si Brian po is, he's an accountant from the Philippines. And he's now in Europe working as an auditor for 2 years na ba?
Basically, I am working for already 5 years.
5 years?
With the same company, so...
With the same company,
Yeah.
so... Yun siya. So, saan ka sa Pilipinas, Brian?
I'm from Pampanga, born and raised in Pampanga.
Woo! Hello po sa lahat ng mga taga-Pampanga dyan. As always, yung ating live audience, you have very VIP live audience po dito. So, ganun. And, so you took up accountancy in the Philippines. You're board certified.
Yeah.
In the Philippines. Saan ka nag-aral?
Sa Holy Angel University.
Oh, Holy Angel University. May ano din sila. They have tourism program.
Yeah.
Kasi I remembered one time, nagsali kami ng National Tourism Students Conference. Kasi I joined for National Tour Guiding Competition. Like, hanggang finalist lang naman ako. Pero I've seen a lot of representatives po from Holy Angel University. I think may marami silang mga branches, di ba? Campuses. Isa lang ba?
No, isa lang. Sa Pampanga
Isa lang?
talaga.
Okay. You worked directly after you took the board exams? After you passed, I mean.
Yeah, so I got the job right after like passing the board exam. Our office is in Makati and then, yeah, sunod-sunod na yun.
So you worked in the Philippines first before moving abroad?
Yeah, I worked there for 3 years. with the intention of like going abroad. Like, yung pagpasok ko pa lang talaga sa trabaho, because my dream is to work abroad. To parang sundin yung yapak ng yung parents ko, yung father ko specifically.
Oh, so your father is a pilot?
No, he's a dancer.
So your father is ano siya?
He graduated mechanical engineer, but he works as a mechanical fitter something in Qatar for almost 10 years.
So he was an OFW per se,
yeah.
and then gusto mong sumunod sa kanyang yapak to experience the world because it's a very big world after all.
Yeah.
How old are you when you first went out of the country?
Well, we've been traveling with my family way back when in college.
Yamanit pala sa sila. Next!
May mga relatives kasi abroad, so nakakadalaw na.
So, where was your first experience ba?
Experience was in Singapore for 9 days kasi nandun yung tita ko before.
Okay.
So, nakilibre kami ng tirahan.
Oh, yeah. It's always our ideal vacation when we went to a certain place and we know someone. So we can save up from the accommodation expenses.
Yeah.
It's a very big very big help po kahit na sabihin ng iba na ay mura naman yung hotel pero it's still if you know someone in that area, it would really help a lot in minimizing your potential expenses from the whole travel experience. Ayan. And what does it feel? How did you feel when you first travel abroad?
Well, I was with my family that time, so sobrang saya experiencing new things, especially experiencing like different mode of transportation and seeing new people.
Yeah, different types of people. Yeah, hindi lang Filipino. Hindi lang kayo mangge. May mga very, very dark and may mga very, very white. So, at least how old were you then?
Maybe I was 16.
16?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were still young when you were exposed when you were introduced to the big world as it is. You were exposed to mas advanced na technological advancement in terms of transportation, in terms of information technology.
Yeah.
Diba? Ganun. So, at least you're slowly gaining the inspiration to keep going abroad and experiencing new.
Yeah, that time our travel was not that luxury travel. Yung parang mga package lang sa mga promo lang. So
yeah, that's where I started and until now I'm still hindi na ako piso fare din ako. I even brought my family to Cebu, Bohol, Iloilo, and Boracay. It's one big trip, parang almost 2 weeks din siya. Kami lahat. Kasi nga, piso fare.
Yeah.
Talagang nag-aabang hanggang 2 a.m. Kailan ba lalabas? Ayun. And then, how old were you when you started working abroad? When you left the Philippines for good? Just recently ba?
Maybe around 24. The first experience that I work abroad when my previous company sent me to the US for 3 or 4 months. So I work in New York or New Jersey. Just for like 3 to 4 months, but it was the time of pandemic. So kailangan kong umuwi that time. Yeah.
Okay. Were you not given like special programs for those who were stuck during the pandemic? Kasi ang nangyari sa Germany, I was supposed to be here. Kaso kasi si Steph yung nag-invite sa akin, he was scared na baka I would go beyond my stipulated stay on my visa, and we don't want that to happen. Kaya umuwi talaga ako. Ako mismo yung last flight ng Frankfurt. Pag-alis namin, close na yung airport for lockdowns. Then when we reach Dubai, parang hapon yung flight namin sa Dubai, kinagabihan, nag-close na din yung airport. Then sa Cebu kami din yung lahat sa Cebu. lahat, that's March 14 of 2020, that's the kasagsagan talaga ng lockdown. So, it was very unfortunate. But if I would have opted to stay here, may program yung government, so you can stay like legally for 1 year.
Yeah.
because of COVID. Were you not given the same type of program in the US?
Well, actually, I think you can stay for as long as you apply for an extension of visa. However, my choice is to go back to the Philippines as soon as possible, considering
You're scared.
I don't want to die alone in a different country.
Given the
Yeah.
circumstance, because it's very. It's nice to stay long, you know.
Yeah.
Diba? But then because
That time, if you will die with COVID, you will be cremated. No,
no one can get no one can even give the last glimpse of you.
Yeah,
The last glimpse of us.
Yeah.
Parang ganon. So, it's a very sad experience, and of course, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Kaya umuwi ka after 4 months.
Yeah. And I was also sent by my company, so kung ano mang merong mangyari.
It's under
It's under
covered
the
by
company,
It's because it's a work related travel.
Yeah.
And grabe, no, you were still young but you were already exposed to these types of opportunities. Siguro ang galing-galing mo. Top 1 ka ba sa board exam?
Mga top 20.
Top down.
Top 21 in the world!
Hindi, yun siya. So, when you applied for that program, you already knew beforehand na talagang there's an opportunity that you can go abroad. You'll be sent abroad for exchange or something like that.
Well, actually, my perception of going abroad is when I graduated college, I really want to go like in Europe or experience something like in the US. So I applied for a company which I know that will offer something like going abroad eventually. So I was hired by this and then spent for 3 years. And then I decided to, okay, what if I will try to go abroad? Like I applied, the first country that I applied with Malta. That time I also applied in Dubai. So I got an offer. However, I was afraid like living alone and everything. So anyway, a company offered me to hire me and then send me abroad temporarily, so I could test myself. Okay, I'll be able to like work abroad or everything. So I mean that's
nice.
I want to test myself first if I really
You can do it.
You can do it. Yeah. I mean it's hard like living alone, flying alone, and without your family. So.
Yeah, hindi po biro ang mag-abroad lalo na kung ikaw lang mag-isa. So when people are saying that it's a very nice thing that you are abroad and then you can earn a lot of money and send it over to the Philippines. Hindi po biro. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a huge amount of courage kasi you have no one else to depend on when you are abroad. So talagang isang malaking leap of faith siya. But then ako correct me if I'm wrong, kasi I will never get the idea that if you are an accounting graduate or if you are a certified public accountant, you will have opportunities abroad. Although I understand that, kasi I have my MBA naman, so I understand that it's a business-related course, which means you can always land on a good job in any business in the world, given that it's the skeletal part of business is accounting. But never in our minds, I don't know how, baka sa akin lang, that people would think na pag accounting yung kinuha mo, you can go abroad. Kasi nga, primarily, alam ko din na accounting is basically depends on the location. Kasi you need to be board certified. It's a regulated profession, kumbaga, ang accountancy. And then, syempre, people would think pag the courses that would come to your mind kapag mag-abroad, it's either nursing, it's either caregiver, HRM, mga ganun yung mga because these are called in-demand fields. So even sa other countries in the world, even sa Canada, in-demand ito ng mga occupation. So I'm not sure lang sa accounting, but then it's a very interesting thing, no? Na may mga opportunity palang ganyan para makapag-abroad yung mga accountants natin without getting... Do you have to get certified in a certain location where you plan to actually work for?
Well, for example, I am working currently in Switzerland. In order for you to sign like documents, like public documents, you need to take an exam. Some of the countries like accredit your license in the Philippines, but there are still certain exams that you need to take. But again,
you need to pass.
Yeah, you need to pass as well. But in general, as to your question whether there is a global demand ba when it comes to accountant, normally I would say it's a growing industry, especially in Europe and abroad. Talagang nag-hire sila ng mga accountants, although it's not as country specific or something. They really like Filipinos ethics, work ethics and everything. So kahit hindi masyadong alam ng mga Pilipino yung mga local laws or regulations, they still hire like Filipinos.
That's nice. That's nice to know kasi alam ko naman talaga that our Philippine educational system is it has a high praise from first world countries like Canada, like the Europe and US, even Australia and New Zealand, that they think highly of our educational system. Yung iba nga, 'di ba, we don't have to like get through another certain level or take this particular like preparatory program kasi nga yung program natin sa Pilipinas is already enough for them. You just need to like do a refresher and then take the exams. Just so you can, kagaya ng nursing, di ba? Even sa nurses, they would do a review and then take the board exam for the US. So that's what I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really very knowledgeable in that field. Pero ang alam ko, they don't need to study nursing talaga. Unlike any other countries. Because some other countries, they were required to still study nursing because their nursing program is not accredited or in line with the system that's being followed by this country. Parang ganun. So, pag patrabaho mo doon, nag-work ka sa Pilipinas for several years muna?
For 3 years as an auditor, and then I stopped. I also became a professor on accounting for 6 months.
Oh my God, you resemble a lot of a friend of mine, no? Si Jana ba? I have a friend, we grew up, we were like childhood friends, and then nag-ALS siya.
Okay.
Yung ALS, alternative learning system, parang ganun. Hindi na siya nag-skip siya ng high school kasi hindi siya nag-aral. But then he passed the exam. He was one of the top-notchers for the high school ALS test. So diretso siya ng college. Eventually naging CPA siya. Ngayon nagma-master siya in teaching and doing a private practice or in a private firm. So nagtiteach din siya sa University of Mindanao sa Davao. So bongga siya. And you are also teacher?
A professor for 6 months,
For 6
however,
months?
parang hindi sa akin yung profen. And then I was
I can relate to that.
I was passionate about it, but again, of course, it will not give you like enough money, I would say, than being in a private company. So.
Yes, I definitely agree. Kasi may mga kakilala ko na they do private practice than public practice. And of course, we cannot deny the fact, huwag na tayong maglokohan pa. It's private practice really provide you with financial freedom to expand, and you have more time to spare on personal things. Parang ganun. I think the way I see it, accountancy like other professions in the science line, they're getting less and less enrollees siguro kasi more on the creative side naman yung tao. Kasi nga because of social media and all, they're all pushing to do what you want, and not everyone likes to focus on these fields. Kaya siguro they're starting to hire someone from the other. So yes, I was also just to share to you this is how we're getting to know each other better. I was also teaching tourism during that time. Pero it's nice, it's fun. The actual job is fun, except the preparatory part. And then of course the money. So it takes a lot of your time, but doesn't provide that much of monetary returns. So we opted kasi we have an opportunity, and you cannot blame us as well. Mga mukhang pera.
Money is money.
Ito pa, lalo na ito. Magaling magkwenta ng pera. Accountant Anyway, so how does it feel when you received the news na lalabas ka na ng bansa? What were the preparations as well that you did?
The first time I went to the US, or is it Europe na?
Europe na. Kasi yung US, alam mo naman na babalik ka, di ba?
Yung Europe, actually, I was very excited because my dream and my goal is to go in Europe, wherever basta Europe, as a stepping stone. I think my preparation way back then was of course, the separation with my family. It was like during COVID. So medyo mahirap. Pero I also wanted an independence. Kasi everyday nung COVID, kasama kami palagi. So, at that time, Europe was already relaxed when it comes to restrictions. Pwede ka na lumabas ng walang mask or something. Medyo mas relaxed sila dito actually. So, yun.
That's nice, no? And then, pangilan ka ba how many siblings?
I have we are two. Ako yung panganay.
Oh!
Ay, pareho ka sir.
Sir?
Pareho tayo.
Guard! Okay, muna sa studio, guard. Pick up na isa. Anyway, panganay ka and you have younger brother or sister?
Younger sister, yeah.
Oh, perfect, no? Boy and girl talaga sila kaagad. And she's still studying?
No, actually, she's working right now.
Perfect. So, and then, so sinabi mo na you will be, it's the first time?
She's a doctor now.
She's a lawyer.
Oh!
Mas matalino yung kapatid ko sa akin.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, may mga tao talagang gifted. We can't deny that fact.
I think she's not gifted, primarily perseverance.
Diligent.
Siguro,
Yeah, because diligent surpasses intelligent. Diba?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Talaga sa
Hindi ko naintindihan, pero agree na.
Hindi kasi naalala ko kasi nung college kami, we were like very kasi I'm with the Scholar Society group.
Yeah.
Tapos we're always like fighting kasi nga kung matalino ka talaga. But then daig ng intelligent, diligent, meaning matalino ka tas you're diligent pa. That means you take time to study, you really push yourself to the limit, you take the time. Kasi sa lahat ng mga taong matalino lang, so nadadaig talaga. And these professions like accountancy and law and even medicine, they would eat up a lot of your time.
Yeah.
So dapat intelligent, parang ganun. Anyway,
Kung walang intelligent at walang diligent.
kung walang intelligent, walang diligent, punctual ka na lang. Most punctual. Joke lang po. And then yun na nga siya. So, may mga chances pala sa mga accountants na pumunta abroad. Oh my God, this is just a very nice thing. A very good refresher para sa lahat. Kasi hindi lang man po piling-pili yung mga profession that could actually land you in a good job abroad. Is it your first time to be away from the family for the longest time?
The first time was when I was in the US. Like 3 or 4 months. And then when I was in Poland, maybe I stayed there for a year and then went back to the Philippines. Yeah.
Before you moved to Switzerland?
Yeah.
Umuwi ka pa pala. Akala ko
Palagi ako umuwi actually.
Yaya kanina. Ang galing talaga magkanta ng pera ba? Kasi may mga ito pang bakasyon.
Kasi mas mura ang pamasahe ko pa uwi ng Pilipinas kaysa magstay ako sa Switzerland.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the time to experience sun.
Yeah.
And summer.
And I have like free accommodation and free food pag nasa bayan.
Yeah, I know. Adulting. Kasi we have bills to pay.
Yeah.
Now, after working in Europe for like 3 years now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, more or less 3 years. What can you say about your work experience as a person, career-wise, and in your personal life?
Well, there are pros and cons like working abroad. Maybe let's start with the pros. Like number one, you need to learn how to be independent. You are living without your family. You need to survive. Maybe sa mga bagong OFWs dyan, I think 1 or 2 months, you will be like homesick, diba? Hanap pa namin mo. But again, like maybe after some time, especially if kumikita ka na, you will learn to value money. And so basically, independence is the number one pros. Second, siguro, in Europe kasi it's a different place. You are open-minded, you will learn a lot of new things. Kasi sa Philippines, very conservative. Dito kasi open-minded yung mga tao. So that's the one thing I love about Europe. And of course, you can experience like interracial communication or interracial interactions with other people, which is very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. And then maybe cons ng pagiging, I think the number one, malayo ka sa pamilya. You're doing your job, you're working abroad because of your family, and at the end of the day, hindi mo sila kasama. You're working abroad because of your family, and at the end of the day, hindi mo sila kasama. Right, so that's the con. But again, you will realize, meron naman pala, nag-a-advance naman ako, or may natututunan naman ako kahit papaano sa pagtatrabaho abroad. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Very family-oriented.
May question ako sa kanya.
Wala, pinipamit lang, pala mo na. Can you hold on to your question?
Okay.
We'll be with you.
Audience question.
Yeah, we will be back to know more about Brian after the ads. This is Kenika Talks. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I am with the accountant, certified public accountant from the Philippines, Brian. Hello again. Gusto ko lang i-add up kasi kaka-discuss lang namin about the pros and cons of working abroad. And after working for more or less 3 years in Europe, sabi niya independence, and then of course yung exposure mo to interracial interactions, cultures, languages, food especially. Kasi diba, the nice thing about Europe, I think, is because Europe is a collection of several countries, and each country has a specific identity, and it's not hard to experience that country alone, no?
Yeah.
So dito, drive ka lang ng 2 hours, you can go to a different country already. You'll be exposed to a different culture already, which is a very nice thing in Europe. Sa Pilipinas, drive ka from Davao to Butuan, 5 hours. Nasa Mindanao ka pa rin. No, I'm just trying to compare it kasi I've worked in Singapore for a year, and now I'm in Canada for almost 2 years now, and hopefully to last longer. Sa Canada kasi, it's a very big country.
Yeah.
Although it's also interracial, marami kang ano, but it's typically common, the whole Canadian experience is Canadian. So unless you would travel to Caribbean or US, if you have a US visa, then you can get to experience a different country lang, basically. Pero Canada in itself is also a very, I even believe that Toronto is the most diverse, culturally diverse city in the world. Kasi doon ako first time nakapag-meet ng mga tao from Burkina Faso, mga tao from Saint Martin in the Grenadines, sa Martinique, yung mga country na sa Miss Universe ko lang talaga malalaman. Yung Burkina Faso. Nalaman ko, doon ko sila kilala. Ay, ganito pala mga mukha nila, no? Mga tao doon. Kasi nga, doon lang tayo exposed sa Miss Universe, but we never really got the chance to meet these people. Like my sister's former colleague Amanda from Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows Azerbaijan and that Baku is their capital, but because I'm a tourism graduate, alam ko yun. But not everyone knows that. So I think it's your exposure to these things that really helps a lot in how you understand the world, and how you understand societies. Yung mga conflicts and what's happening in every society is basically culturally inspired, no? Ayun siya. And yun ang cons is, if you're far from your family, syempre, it's a little bit hard.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hard for you. I think naman din, para din sa akin ha, if you wanted to work abroad, it takes really a great courage. And it's a calling. Kasi may mga kilala ako nag-abroad. May ganun nakaabot ng 3 months, umuwi ng Pinas. May mga nag-Hong Kong, hindi na natapos yung kontrata. May mga nag-Middle East. Apart from they have the desire but maybe hindi sila pinalad sa naging amo or sa naging work experience nila, yung iba talaga, hindi talaga nila feel. They would say na, hindi talaga ako para sa abroad. So we have our live audience question. Woohoo! We have Dong from Dong
Ano ba
Vlogs.
ako dyan?
Hindi, nadya ka lang.
Ay, pang ano pala ako, pang radyo lang.
Oh,
Yung question ko pala, kumusta ang love life ni Sir Brian?
Yeah, in a better way, may nagpapatibok ba sa puso?
Ilalabas ko ito sa Pilipinas. Ilalabas single po ako.
Single by country. Single by country exposure po.
Yeah.
Ayan, so ito na lang last question kasi we had so much fun learning more about your experience and coming here in Europe, and we wanted to know what can you say to those who are aspiring to come to Europe one day and land on a good job.
Well, for me, just trust in yourself and don't be afraid. Just grab the opportunities that life can offer you. Okay, matakot. I mean, para-parehas lang naman tayong tao, and just go with the moment. It's hard work and it's luck. Hindi naman tayo pinunta sa ibang bansa. Hindi naman tayo pumunta na ibang bansa para lang sa wala. I mean, I think you have a purpose. If you are destined to like go abroad, so be it. Just do your best. Just do your best, and makikita kasi ng mga foreigners or even other people when you excel in something. So ganun.
Thank you very much. Oh my God, di ba? Ang dami po nating natutunan.
Medyo lasing pa po ako nito.
So, para sa inyong lahat dyan na gustong mangarap at makapunta dito sa Europe, marami pong mga professions na pwede nyo pong pasukin. And if you're already practicing and you still desire to go to Europe, you have a lot of opportunities po. It's just a matter of diligence on searching for the right job opportunity for you. And also networking with the right people.
Yeah.
Kasi if you're with the right people, you would know na you will be properly taken care of.
Yes.
Parang ganun. So, yun siya. It's a nice experience. We will keep on learning more and more on how to come to Europe, to live in Europe as a worker, and improve our quality of life. Parang ganun. So, I will keep on posting updates and details if may mga malaman po tayong opportunities kung paano makapunta sa Europe. For the meantime, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Brian. Oh my God. Heartfelt thanks po. Kunin mo yung bulaklak dong. Assign mo yung paso. Thank you very much. This is French ka na pala. Oh my God.
Non, je comprends un peu.
Ich auch. Je ne parle pas français.
Oh, okay.
Je parle anglais. Je parle
Anglais?
pas anglais.
Oui?
But I understand. No, I just want to point this out kasi I talked to several people, French-speaking people from different French-speaking backgrounds. So, ang French ng Switzerland, they can say Francis. Je parle Francis. Or ang French ng France, Francais. And iba ang French ng Quebec sa Canada kasi we have a French province. So iba din doon. May mga a little bit of hindi siya accent, may mga alterations, but it's still the same. It's the same. Maybe it's the way of speaking or the manner of using the words. But anyway, yeah, sobrang check ka. Maraming salamat po. Sana po ay nasiyahan kayo sa ating episode for Kenika Talks today. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan mag-comment down kung ano po yung inyong natutunan. And if you have something to share, maybe we have viewers who are from abroad and wanted to share some opportunities po para sa ating mga kababayan na nangarap din at gusto makapunta sa ibang bansa at magsimula ng panibagong buhay. Ganon. So, we are Filipinos and we are here to help each other. And of course, ayan, maraming salamat po ulit. Say thank you to our viewers.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po ulit hanggang sa next Kenika Talks natin. My name is Kenika, your Pinay dreamer. And sana samahan niyo po akong maging dagdag inspirasyon sa lahat ng mga may ambisyon. Maraming salamat po. See you again.
Salamat sir sa pagpunta. Thank you for joining my show.
Director or ano ba yun?
Thank you, Brian.
Director, producer ba to or ano?